All right, welcome to Humber College in the Fishbowl. Today we're going to be talking about the state of the media. I'm here with, on my left, Matt Allen, and on my right, Tim Paul.
Welcome.
All right, guys, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, first question. Are newspapers dying, and what does that mean for journalism?
You
would
want
like to take the lead here?
Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, thank you, Tim. Journalism is not dying. Newspapers, yes, it probably looks like they're on their way out, but maybe that's a good thing. You know, it's sort of got to get with the times these days. Not all media outlets have online presence and apps and stuff like that, as they were saying on the Steve Paikin show. We just sort of got to go with it, roll with it, right?
Yeah, I'll have to agree. I mean, it's not like journalism's not dying. It's basically just the medium of how it's distributed. So, I guess I can agree on that one.
As long as, you still have quality material and investigations and, proper editorials, like all the basic 101s of journalism, both sides of the story are covered.
So, without newspapers, are those basics going to get covered online?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's, it doesn't matter what the medium is necessarily. It just matters that they follow the
But
basics.
I think what the bigger issue is like the structure of it. Like, so for example, newspapers, if they go away, so is that structure, that format of having editors, of having writers, of having a whole team gathering information?
Yeah, I don't know what the models are, how it's gonna look, but I would imagine there'd still be an editorial process, and that the ideas have to get the okay from the higher ups.
Yeah. On that last point, Matt, with the expansion of digital media, are outlets becoming more of clickbait?
I don't think it's any more prevalent than it was. I mean, there's still magazines that specialize in clickbait. Basically, it's just transferring it to a different medium, right? National Enquirer, everything like that has all been around for years, right? It's not like this suddenly sprung up with digital media. So I mean,
It's just more accessible now. I think there's more of a presence of there's more presence of it. And to be fair, it's not like there are just media outlets or magazines that focus on that. There could be other things that they focus on. They do sports, they do news, they do
yeah, it's a fair point. I mean, it's like you see Vice can have all sorts of things, right? They have their own forms of clickbait with their terms of eccentric stories, but they're still considered like a legit news organization.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, what does this say about the different business models in the industry? Tim?
They haven't adapted well to change, and I actually mentioned this idea last week when we talked. I would like to see a real reform of newspapers and their presentation. If we have established that the medium is dying, then how do we reinvent that medium? So, for example, maybe you have like a digital comic or a digital journal that gives you your news, something with color. That's harder to print and that costs a little bit more. But in order to revitalize the medium, because for example, this doesn't fly. Like for kids, they don't grow up like searching this or actually going to get this. It's kind of like when books were almost dead a couple years ago because they thought ebooks were going to take over. But like people stood up and said no, they wanted to hang on to books because there's something tangible.
Right.
So I think if we can give something tangible to people to make them care about newspapers, then that could really keep the medium itself going. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, and maybe if they're more environmentally friendly, the thing about newspapers that I hate the most is just getting the print on my fingers, really. I like holding books and tangible things, and for that reason, I think maybe there's some hope for newspapers. And like, weren't we even talking about how records for music,
yeah,
right?
Vinyl's come back.
Vinyl's coming back. People are, it's making record profits. So I don't know. Maybe there's hope still, but I'm kind of thinking, look, all newspapers require money. All of them need it to survive, to keep going. But I kind of like these independent journalists who have more of a open source investigations and donations and charity, people that actively care about the news stories that are being covered. And so the same people that are donating are part of an open source investigation for a particular story and will submit leads and other tidbits that could help further the investigation. I think that's a really cool model.
Yeah, there's two really different business models. You have high-end journalism that kind of relies on donations a little bit, or even native advertising in some cases.
Right.
And then you've got your more clickbait-y stories type of things where you're giving out lists and that sort of stuff. So the business models have really changed, and there's never really been, like, I guess a format or a platform for, I think, investigative journalism in a way. Like there is that, but it's not really profit driven.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Because it's almost like once you enter profits into the equation, it's almost like you're compromising the quality.
right.
Whereas necessarily, you don't have to do that.
Right, right. Well, and it's just sort of weird to think that, you know, the consumers are the commodity being sold. Like, you know, it's about the advertisers wanting the most, you know, publicity to be seen for the consumers, and they're the ones who decide what, you know, is going to be covered in a sense, right? Like whoever pays the piper is the piper's going to have the control. But yeah, like I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
For sure. So we are Humber College students. We all are all in first or fourth year, I should say.
Oh man.
Are we worried about finding work in journalism after graduating?
I know I'm not, because I'm not going to be a journalist, but go ahead.
Easy enough. Okay. I'm terrified. I have no idea what I'm going to do in terms of jobs, but there are interesting stats. Like, there is hope. It's not all doom and gloom situation. Like, for every newspaper job that's getting cut, you're getting jobs online. So the jobs are different, but they're still there. I probably should have paid more attention in the last 4 years. That might have helped my chances, but I think it'll be okay. It's really shifting a lot to video now. We're even talking about, like, even the first year students coming into this program, they don't really read their news. They watch most of their news.
Yeah.
And you see that appearing more and more in apps on your phone. People rely on quick videos. And that's going to be an interesting shift to see not only where newspapers go, but news organizations like television as well as radio, because those things are going to undergo like big changes as well. So I'm not, I guess, totally concerned about getting a job. There are jobs. It's just adjusting to what these jobs will require going forward.
What about, like, starting your own thing? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
whether it's a YouTube channel or your own independent media outlet, like, I don't know, is that?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Shameless self-promotion. Artifact.com coming soon. So we are, that is what it's all about. Like, what's to stop people from connecting and getting editors, getting camera people, and creating a formula to distribute news. I mean, it's a lot more accessible to a lot of people, and yeah, that's definitely a way to go for a lot of people.
And, you know, whatever you decide to do, like, these skill sets are very transferable. That's what I liked about it. So even if I don't get into journalism, I'm sure there are many other professions that will, you know, be accessible to someone like us.
Sweet. So, yeah. Not too worried about it, and
Yeah.
terrified.
All right, guys, thanks for joining me today. That's all for Humber College in this debate.
Sweet. Thanks for having us.